Aha. Welcome to WKIM. We keep it moving, and we are so excited to be back on the air. And we have some incredible guests with us today. I'll tell you something, we always wonder how we can make everything happen and what we want everybody to do. But, sometimes you got to have all the right people together under the same roof to be able to get what we need. And so tonight we're going to be talking about the National Urban League and the Baltimore Urban League and what we are doing. Unfortunately, I cannot get into my the other window, but here's what we will do. Let's start with an introduction of both of you, and then hopefully by that time my constant contact will come back up so that I can introduce you properly. So let's start with Jennifer Wicks and Shay Rice. You all are in the leadership for the Baltimore Urban League, and this is so exciting, the years that you all have done all of this hard labor. Yes. Where shall we begin?
So probably first I want to give you a correction. My name is Shea Rice. I always put everything Jack, so don't you worry. So I think first we should start with the fact that we turned 100 years this year, right, Jen?
Yep.
And so tell them a little bit about what's so exciting about us turning 100 years this year. What do we have coming up on the night, Jen?
Oh my goodness. So we have our Centennial Gala coming up on November the 9th. We are super excited about this event. We have put so much work in, and, shout out to our partners, our board, all of our volunteers, our staff member. It has definitely been a collaborative effort. It's going to take place from 6 to 9 at the Hilton at the Inner Harbor. We are so excited to announce that Tony will be headlining the event. So, it's our anniversary. Everything kind of aligns, right? Goes with the theme. And it'll be hosted by Frank Ski and Kai Reed. We have a host of honorees that Shea can talk a little bit more about. But it'll be a night of dancing, a night of reflection, camaraderie, building new relationships, reconnecting. It's just, we're looking at it as a Baltimore family reunion and a chance to really showcase what our teams and what our partners have been doing over the past 100 years for the Baltimore community.
That's amazing to me that this organization has been around and thriving for 100 years.
100, yep.
What do you all sit and talk about inside the office about this 100 years and the upcoming gala? That is huge.
Marsha, we are on such a high right now because, like you said, 100 years of service is an amazing thing, right? We have been truly impacting the greater Baltimore area for 100 years. That means that for 100 years, we've been driving economic access. We've been driving access to workforce development and things like that. For 100 years, we have been positively impacting the community of Baltimore. And that's an amazing thing, right, Jen?
Yes, we're very excited.
So when you look at 100 years, let's think about, whoever was the mayor at that time and whoever was the governor at that time. I certainly wasn't alive that did, right? No. So we're looking at the work. Let's talk about the work that the Baltimore Urban League actually does and how they're impacting the citizens in our community.
Yes. So some of the programs that we have going on right now and some of the work that we're doing to help empower our communities are in our workforce development program. We have a cybersecurity program that we're currently running that graduates, I believe, in about 6 weeks. We have a construction program that just started. Let me go back. The cybersecurity program that we have is in partnership with Reasonable Tech Solutions and is funded by the ARPA program, by the ARPA funds through Baltimore City. And the construction program that we have is in partnership with Project Jumpstart, and that is funded by the Department of Labor grant that we have. So those are two amazing programs that we have. We are in the fourth cohort of we're in the fourth cohort of the construction program and the fourth cohort of the cybersecurity program. Both are booming. In the construction program, we've graduated, I think, 62 people. And in the cybersecurity program, in total, 4 years, we've graduated about 75 people.
Wow.
So that's great for just workforce development. I haven't even talked about entrepreneurship or our youth and programs department, and haven't touched a little bit about the auxiliaries, which I will let Jennifer talk about, because she's also a leadership member on the Greater Baltimore Leadership Association. So I'll let her go into that. But we have our entrepreneurship center where we offer 100% free business coaching and technical assistance to small minority owned businesses in the Greater Baltimore area. We also have this amazing program called the Black Restaurant Acceleration Program, where we have just graduated our 32nd business, and we have given 32 businesses so far $10,000 in funding apiece to help build capital and help expand their businesses in Baltimore. So that is something we're very proud of. And that is very huge. We've created so many jobs in that area. I think about 20 jobs in that area, and we've given out over $320,000 in funding in that program.
Really?
Smart businesses. Yes, that is.
So how do you recruit these folks to be a participant, or I guess as a participant?
Mm-hmm. So it's an application process, and so in the application process, they fill out an application, and we take. So let me just go back. In the very first year, we only had a few people sign up, so we literally had to go and promote, push the business out to people to let them know that the funding was there. Mm-hmm. And so after the first year, we had kind of a waiting list. So we kind of pulled from the waiting list, and that's how we were able to fill the classes up. Well, this year we did a little different. We accepted every single person that applied, and we put them. They went through the 9-week course, and after the 9-week course, they went through a pitch competition that Wells Fargo sponsored the pitch competition. And the BRAT program, I'm sorry, I did not mention that PepsiCo Foundation and the National Urban League are the sponsors for the PepsiCo Foundation grant. But they did a pitch competition after the 9 weeks, and then after that, we had a taste of Baltimore. It's what we call it, and we had a tasting out at BWI Airport in the observation deck, where we had 16 businesses cook samples of selected menu items, and we invited a very selected list of people to come and attend the tasting, and that was such an amazing event. Jennifer, you attended that event, right?
I attended. It was awesome. It was my second year attending. It was I don't know if she had mentioned this at the BWI observation deck, and the food, it was, I'm so happy I came on an empty stomach, because I tried everything in the building. And just, to talk about the vendors and the BRAT program participants, to talk to them about their journeys, about their dishes, their processes, the love that they put into their food and into their businesses was just phenomenal. And most, if not all of them, said that they would not have had this opportunity elsewhere. This is such a unique program that the Urban League does. And and now, right, so we're using the participants from the cohorts for when we have events, right? We're using them when friends or partners are in need of different vendors or caterers, so we're not only giving them business training, we're not only doing this grant, right, in this program, but it's also helping them to build connections and putting them in front of different people and different opportunities that otherwise they might not have had.
Absolutely. And
And so, no, go ahead. Go
One
ahead.
great thing to say is that two of the participants that participated in the BRAT program this year were also members of the Greater Baltimore Leadership Association. So for us, it kind of comes full circle. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
you have also, I heard you say, leadership program?
Yes, our Saturday leadership program is through our youth and programs department. That is our longest standing program that we've had so far. That program is a program where we take students grades 8th through 12th and we take them on different college tours. We teach them about leadership. We give them exposure to college campuses. We teach them about career development and things like that. And we do that through the course of the year. And at the end of the year, we give all the graduating seniors a scholarship.
I love it.
So, yeah, that is what we do for the Youth and Programs Department. We also have definitely added a new initiative this year, which is a STEM initiative. So they've done a lot of cool STEM activities. And so if there's anyone watching who wants their children to sign up for the SLP program, have them visit the website gbul.org. One last thing I want to mention before I let Jennifer take the word.
Just one more.
Our Voices of the People podcast is about to start back up. And this season, we will not only focus on Black businesses in Baltimore, but we will also focus on the voices of the youth. So I want everyone to dial in because this season is going to be so powerful.
That's wonderful. And I heard you mention STEM, and just since we're on it, the top of February, I want to say it's the second week of February, but I'm not sure. And I'll send you that information. The Black Engineer of the Year Awards Conference will be back in Baltimore in February. And it's huge. They take over that whole convention center floor. And they bring in tanks, helicopters. Folks are sitting in the booth talking about everything. We've got all kinds of 2 and 3 and 4-star generals that are there. Corporations from Lockheed Martin to General Motors to General Dynamics. It goes on. And the top Fortune 500 corporations are there, some sort of representation. And I'll make certain we'll follow up with you all because what I would love for your young people to attend.
And sounds like we need to be in the building.
Sounds like we need to be in the building. And our cybersecurity department, our cybersecurity program, we have over 75 people that are ready to be employed. So definitely.
Yes, and they are hiring. And actually what they do in that on that first floor in the back, they have a pipe and drape set up so that you can actually bring your resume and get interviewed while you're there.
Nice.
Dynamic.
And it's huge.
Yeah.
It was so funny last year. And all I do when I go is I sit and interview people, right? So that's my job there. But where we were sitting, looking over to the city across the street on Pratt, that line coming into the convention center to the registration crossed Pratt Street and was up the street that's running parallel to the convention center. I just sat there and tears started rolling out of my eyes because it said that's what we need. People are looking for changes in their life. And some people don't even know what they don't know. If you don't know what you should be thinking about, if you don't know what you should be doing, then you're going to be sitting there at home. And you all have a wonderful distribution with all of the work that you're doing and the people that you're helping. It would be wonderful to be able to have them actually see this and be able to ask questions in that exhibit hall.
Absolutely.
That's what's so powerful. And the people that come with these corporations and government agencies, they're open for the conversation. They love having young people attend.
Great. So please send us that information. We definitely want to be there.
Yes. Yes. I'll send that to you after we get off the call. I'll send you I'll find out who your point of contact should be.
Okay.
Okay, so that you guys will have an access to what needs to happen with the young people. As a matter of fact, one of the gentlemen who Rod Carter, he travels all over the country recruiting young people, college students to come and attend. I've had him on my show talking about and bringing students who are in college for something with STEM.
That is a dynamic.
That is a dynamic.
I'd like to be a part of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And see, I think what's important are the relationships that we have. You know, the Urban League here has done so much work. Can we have you just share with us some of the major accomplishments that you all have done so that we can share with people? You know, you hear the Urban League and we know that they're over in West Baltimore, but let's learn a little bit more about how people can participate, how they can get their young people to participate, and you know how they can just see themselves being there. That's part of the problem. If you can't see yourself doing something, it's kind of hard.
Exactly. Right? And I will let Jennifer, this is a perfect segue into our volunteerism. And so Jennifer, you talk about the impact that we've had in the community based on the volunteer work that you and the Guild do. So
yeah, so we have many volunteer opportunities. So part of my personal story, how I came to the Urban League, because I'm Chief Development Officer now, but I actually started as a volunteer. I was part of our communications committee, and I started back in 2018, and had come across a flyer. Someone sent me a flyer, and it was an event that our Young Professionals Auxiliary was throwing, like a financial empowerment event. And I think I ended up not going, but I needed connections, right? I needed a job. And so I wanted to network. I wanted to get into some type of group with Black folks like myself, where I could network and really, build connections and find a job, because I had recently gotten a communications degree. And so, I went on the website and I emailed the then Young Professionals president, Jerome Alexander, shout out to Prez, but sent him an email and said, how can I get connected? And so, I went out and we met and we determined, communications committee would be perfect. And I've been sold ever since. We do so much within the Young Professionals for the community. So to back up a little bit, the Young Professionals is a group from 21 to 40. And we have different committees that are formed around GBUL's pillars. So we have a youth empowerment committee. We have a community engagement committee, a fundraising committee. And what we do are throughout the year, we identify different initiatives and different events where we can bring our membership in to create opportunities for the community, but from the lens of a young professional. So, it's really a dynamic group of people. If you want to just give back to the community while still, securing different professional development opportunities for yourself, I would say 100% join GBLA. Again, that's where I started. I then went on to be executive vice president, maybe like 2023 or so. And through the work that I did with GBLA, I was actually appointed into this role, which has been an absolute honor to now join the core team of GBUL. And that was made possible through the work and through the connections that I have with GBLA. So, through volunteer work, you can 100% reach professional goals that you might not even think attainable, or that you might not be able to get to simply by going on to LinkedIn or filling out an application, right? It's about the work that you put into the community and about the connections that you're able to make through service. And that's what we do at GBLA. And then Beyond that, we have another auxiliary called the Guild, and that is for folks who are 41 and beyond. And the Guild, we say, is really the backbone of this movement, of this national urban lead movement, right? So they have a heavy hand in fundraising, in civic engagement, voter registration. Our members of the Guild are out in the community constantly visiting nursing homes, signing people up to vote, advocating for financial equality and parity. I mean, that auxiliary does so much, and a lot of the folks are retired in the Guild, so they're really able to hone into the work and really drive this movement and do the things that the staff might not have the capacity to do, because as you heard from Shea, we have all these different programs going on. And so they're really able to get out into the community and do those that supplementary work that makes our organization so very unique. And so we are very proud of our volunteer auxiliaries. I come from a volunteer auxiliary, and it'll always, always, always be at the forefront of my story when I tell it, because GBLA and volunteering through the Urban League is the sole reason why, I've reached the point that I've reached in my career, and that's even before I came on to GBUL.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It sounds like you all have found your home.
These are my people.
I say all the time, like, I was placed here by God. Yeah.
These are my people. I mean, I spend my free time hanging out with these people, and now I work with them. So everything is definitely coming full circle. I've brought my kids into the fold. We had an amazing time a few weeks ago. We did a campus cleanup project where we went into our historic Orchard Street Church, which was also part of the Underground Railroad. And we helped to, pull some things together and organize some things, because we are getting ready for a development project. And so just being able to bring my kids into the church so they can see how absolutely beautiful the architecture is and how massive this space is. And it was actually interesting. We were actually tasked to clean up the archives room. So they were able to hold these posters, these there were apartheid posters protesting different things from the NAACP, Black artifacts. There was so much history in that room, and I was so grateful. I said, we were tasked to clean this room up, and they had an awesome history lesson, and it was just so far. That day has been the highlight of my year. There is so much history within this organization. I have such a deep respect for it, and if you cannot tell, I am so excited to be a part of it.
I think a little bit. I think I see some smiles there.
But I mean, we have a rich history. It would be impossible to talk about everything in 1 hour. And that is definitely why we encourage everyone to come out to our gala, listen to our stories, listen to our partners talk about our stories, and really be immersed in what this organization and what this movement as a whole has been doing for the past 100 plus years, because National Urban League is 114 years old.
Oh, wow.
And we are turning 100. So GBUL came about just 14 years later and have made amazing strides in this amount of time.
Yes.
Share.
Yes. So I agree wholeheartedly with Jennifer. Yes.
I think it's really interesting. I met Mark 100 years ago. For some reason, I was up there, and his commitment at that time, and I haven't seen him in years, but being in that room, listening to his enthusiasm and the commitment that the Urban League needed to give to the rest of the nation. That was just, and I just happened to be in that spot at that time. Yeah. But when we look at national organizations, and especially for those who want to build the Black community in so many areas. Can we talk about we've talked about and mentioned some of the names of the programs and getting the young people, but from a historical standpoint, can you just bring about a couple of historical landmarks or things that have occurred in this 100 years that has changed the trajectory of a lot of people's lives working with the Urban League?
Yes. So one of the things that I am very proud of is that us, in partnership with the NAACP, helped to desegregate the fire department here in Baltimore City. So we are the reason the Black people are able to have jobs in the fire department. So that was a huge accomplishment for just civil rights in Baltimore, period. And so that is one of the things that I'm so grateful for. And another thing that I'm just really excited about is that the charge that we have every year, every voting year, to get as many people informed and registered to vote as possible. Like this year, our guild, shout out to Carlos Maddox, who's the president of the guild, our guild and our GBLA leadership registered about 88 people to vote in this election. And that's just registration. We've educated people on questions that are on the ballot. We've educated people of just who's on the ballot, because you never know how many, you'd be surprised how many people don't know who's on the ballot. So the education that we provide is just, I don't think that you can compare it to to many other organizations. Yeah. So,
but you all are, you're like on the ground, kind of, we open up the door and you hit the ground running, basically, is the appearance that I'm getting.
We are definitely boots on the ground. We are always engaging with the community. For example, on November the 26th, we will be giving out 500 turkeys and feeding over 250 people in the Brooklyn community, in partnership with Giant Foods, who's one of our most amazing partners, and in partnership with the Life Church in the Brooklyn community. So that's something we're really excited about. But we do that every year. That's just one of the ways that we give back to the community. We do a back to school event every year where we give out over 300 book bags to the community. And we choose different communities each year to be able to impact the community in that way. So yes, boots on the ground is what we are. Jennifer puts that ponytail up. I put a little hat on my little small bald head because I be cold all the time, and we be in these streets, Miss Martin.
We get scared. We did a
don't play with me.
Listen, we roll up our sleeves and get it done. We did a drive for Black maternal health. It's a week, but we've turned it into an entire month. So Black Maternal Health Month, which is in April, where we collected I think over 1,400 items for pregnant and postpartum moms and babies in the community. So just making sure that we are aware and cognizant of what is going on in the community, and we're making sure that we have programming or events or initiatives in place to meet that need. So we have to have our ears really close to what's going on in our community in order to be able to run all of these programs the way that we can, and really speak to the communities that we serve, because we're in them. You have to be in them to serve them.
That's exactly right. And you have to be there so that they can trust you, to feel confident working in the community.
She talks about that all the time.
It's real though.
All the time. Yep.
It's real. And we don't really realize how many people have just walked away because some of the people who should be giving support decide to do other. And so there has to be an organization that's solid, and you can always count on them to be there to resolve whatever needs to happen. And it's incredible. You all have been around for so many years. Give me 3 or 4 things that you would like the audience to create an action item for them.
The first thing I would charge everyone to do is to get involved. We have both of our auxiliaries. You are able to pay a membership and sign up to get involved, and all membership fees go towards the support of the programs within the organization. So that's the first thing that I would say. The second thing that I would say in this very most important, crucial time is to get out and vote. Go. If you do nothing else this year, we are in our most important election of our lifetime. There are rights that we never thought that we would ever have to imagine being taken away or reversed. And those things are definitely on the line. Project 2025 is not a game. It is here to disable people that look like you and I. So if you do nothing else, please go vote. So those are the 2 things that I'm going to give you. I want Jennifer to have an opportunity to dive into here somewhere. So Jennifer, you can give 2, and then we'll talk about our honorees for this gala.
Absolutely. So we have volunteer, we have vote. I will also say that Black businesses are huge and really important, especially in Baltimore, right? So if you have a business, tap into our services. We have so many services for you. We want your business to be successful. We want to be able to patronize your business. We want others to be able to patronize your business. And we want to make sure that Black businesses are properly represented in Baltimore. So if you have a business, tap into us. The fourth thing, right? If you have a need. So I was again just really blown away today. You know, she had got an email. She called me. She's like, someone emailed and they need something for their kids for Christmas. What we gonna do about it? Boom. On the phone, we put together an entire plan, and we do a toy drive each year, right? But we put together a plan for those who reach out to us directly with a need. And you know, with everything that goes on within this organization and all the programs that she had named earlier, to be able to send us an email, to give us a call and reach out and say, I have a need, and for us to hop into action. That is what makes us different. That's what sets this organization apart from a lot of other organizations. So I will say, if you have a need, if you have a business need, or if you have a personal need, use us as a resource, because if we can't help, we know somebody who can. So those would be my two things that I would say.
Those are some pretty amazing things, Ms. Marsha, right?
They are. And you know, one of the things I think that's really critical is too often we don't know that we have resources such as the Urban League, and that there is hope, there's help, and we don't have to just sit and cry in our suit when you have this organization to be able to help deliver what's necessary.
Yeah. 100 years means that we have deep connections and deep partnerships. So again, if we can't, we know who can.
Well, I'm loving the whole thing, and I'm loving the work that you're doing out at the airport. That's huge for small businesses, and all of the things that are doing and partnering with the Urban League, because it helps them understand what we need as a people, because we don't always have enough melanin in our skin going to different large organizations such as BWI. So those relationships must be created internally, and that's a great foundation for the Baltimore Urban League. Give us 3 things that you would like people to walk away with, and maybe a couple of action items for the audience.
So the first thing I'd like people to walk away with is that you were able to go to www.gbul.org to purchase your gala ticket for November.
That part.
That's the first action item to walk away with. So everybody that is online, go get your ticket, please.
Mhm.
Because it is going it is going to be an amazing event. And I'm going to get to those other two. I'll save one for you, Jennifer, right?
Save me one.
I'm gonna save you one. But while we're on those action items, I definitely want to talk to you guys about some of the people who will be honored at the gala. We are giving honor to Governor Wes Moore and First Lady Dawn Moore for what is it? I'm sorry, help me out, Jennifer. The Howard Henderson and Beverly Couples Award.
Oh,
yeah, that's pretty
nice.
Yes, and so I'm not going to name all the awards. I'm just going to tell you that some of the people that we're awarding are, Delegate Phillips, Bruce Briano. We're awarding David Bramble of MCB Real Estate, Eddie and Sylvia Brown of Brown Capital Management, Miss Janet Carey of Bank of America, Mr. Drew Hawkins, and Miss Andrea McDaniels, Mr. Earl Richardson, Mr. Craig. I'm sorry, Dr. Earl Richardson.
Yes. Morgan.
Yes. Craig Thompson, and I will let Jennifer talk about herself and Edwin. They are our volunteers that are being.
So we're also honoring Dr. Edwin Green, who is a phenomenal member of our guild, and he actually writes a lot of the curriculum for our Saturday leadership program. And she is putting me on the spot. I am also an honoree at the gala. I will be receiving the Rising Star Award. And so, this year has just been absolutely phenomenal. The exposure that GBUL has allowed me to share it's been breathtaking. And so, I did find out that I was an honoree about a month or two ago, and then I found out that they wanted to bring me in full time. So,
I love it.
Yeah, so it's been quite the journey this year, and I'm very grateful. And so, yes, those are our honorees. And Tershea, you had another.
I do have another action item. The other action item is, I would say, follow us on social media. We have some amazing things going on within this organization, and social media is the direct access, other than the website. Social media is the direct access to it all. Also, follow us on YouTube. Our Voices of the People podcast is popping on YouTube, so please go follow us on YouTube. So those are the two action items that I would have for the audience, because those are the things that would bring us the most engagement within the organization. I'll say the last one for Miss Jennifer.
So I have to plug in our business summit. We haven't talked about that yet. We are having a business summit on November the 8th, which is the day before the gala. And we are actually having it at Creatively Black Baltimore, where you were today.
Wonderful. Yay.
So we're really excited about that. We're going to have a lot of different activations and workshops. We'll have different vendors. We'll have some food tastings, some wine tastings. We have a free headshot station. And then most importantly, we're having a pitch competition where there are up to $10,000 in prizes.
Wow.
So we are very, very proud of what's to come with this business summit. We're expecting a lot of different businesses. We're expecting a lot of participants. In the pitch competition, it is hosted by the legendary Mark Clark. And we have a few other very special guests who will be helping us run our program. And so that's just going to be a great experience for business owners and consumers alike. So we're really excited for that as well. And that will be in partnership with our Young Professionals Auxiliary, who have done a phenomenal job in the planning process and putting together some special treats for our attendees.
Wonderful.
And free to attend. Our business summit is 100% free to attend.
When is this again? The business, say it one more time. The business summit is when?
It's on November the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And it is at the Creatively Black Baltimore space on Pratt Street. I think it's 301?
Yes,
right up at the harbor. And what else was it? Oh, the time, I think, don't get me the line.
9:30.
Boom, 6 to 9:30.
That's wonderful. And the space is absolutely unbelievable. When I first went in there, and just like I told you, I just babysit the artwork, right? I volunteer. But when I walked through there and saw all of the artwork that as you walk through this maze, because it used to be Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah,
There's so much art. I just cried like a little baby when I saw it. For us to be able to have that many artists with their work in a public space is huge.
It's huge
on so many levels.
Yes,
on so many levels.
There's nothing like it.
Because there's no other space for just Black artists anywhere that is displayed that way. And so every room you walk into, you feel the presence of your people, and there's nothing like that
at all.
And we've definitely used the space. I think every event we want to do these days, we're like, let's do it at Creatively Black. We have been wearing that space out, Marsha.
Good, because it's fabulous. It is absolutely fabulous. You got the water view, you've got the lighting. It's wonderful.
And I'll tell you, I always want to do things is to bring awareness to the space, because I don't think enough people know. So I want to do events to bring awareness to that space, because that space is also free to go to too. And people need to know that every piece of art in that space is on sale. So, bring awareness to that.
And by Black artists. And I'll tell you, some of these people, I thought I knew most of the artists in town just because of the things that I used to do. And I'm telling you, there are so many Black artists, and the work that they're doing is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So I'm just really grateful to be able to see it and to just chat with the artist. They have so much, joy being able to be there. That's huge to me.
Yeah. So we can count you in. You're attending the business summit then. That's what I'm hearing.
And the gala.
You will be, and especially the gala.
Yeah.
Okay. All that.
And let everybody know who's viewing that the sponsorships are still available for the gala. 100% sure sponsorships are still available. It's not too late to get involved and be able to help impact such an amazing cause. So I'm sorry, help be a part of such an amazing cause and impact the community.
I love it. And I have a weekly newsletter. So, feel free to send me information to send out. So if you see something coming up, I'm open to it. So we can make that happen.
Okay. Absolutely. We'll do.
I would love that. Tell us 3 takeaways action items that you want the audience to walk away with something they're supposed to do.
Yeah, so I gave my 2. I think it was go to social media, go to the website so that you can purchase your gala ticket and so that you can sign up to be a part of the business summit. And I'll let Jennifer have the last one.
Oh, we get 4. Okay. Well, I will say we have been charged by our national president, Mark Morial, right? And you'll hear him say this all the time if you're tapped in to the Urban League. We are nonpartisan, but we are here to defend democracy, demand diversity, and defeat poverty. So again, piggybacking off of what she has said, we have to get out and vote. This is a crucial election. Okay. And honestly, I want everybody to be in a good mood for the gala. Okay. So because the gala is right after elections, right? And it could go either way. And we have a lot at stake right now. So we are going to get out and vote so that we can defend our democracy. Again, I'm going to say it again, demand diversity and defeat poverty. It's extremely important that we all get out and vote.
So will you all make some posters that say that, and then we can just post them everywhere and give them to people?
We have them, absolutely.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I like that. That's huge.
Yeah, this is part of our national campaign.
I love it. I love it. So we've got about a couple of minutes left. I heard you mention some of the Black firefighters earlier. What are they doing with that firehouse over in East Baltimore? They were talking about restoring that. Have they mentioned anything to you all?
Don't put me on the spot like that, Marsha. No, I'm joking. No, I haven't heard anything about. I haven't heard anything about.
But see, you said something earlier, and then I went past it coming home tonight. So, and George, I mean, every time I see him, I'm like, so what's up with the firehouse? Because it's still building up, and there's a lot that we should be doing to help the whole fire department for the Black firefighters.
And I was actually going to say Mr. Collins is probably the person to ask that question, because that's who I go and ask all of our history questions to.
That's good, because now you can say Marsha stirred the pot on and made it a public conversation.
That's
because we really need to help them. Our history is so important.
It is.
We don't even realize I can't even imagine, even today, what they went through as firefighters back in the day. I can't even begin to imagine what that was about. So I think that's a big priority for the city, actually. It should be.
It is. I think that it should be too. And not just because of the history, but because of the impact that it's having on the community. But that firehouse not being open, response times to certain areas of the community are almost doubled. So if my grandmother was having a heart attack, it would take double the time for the ambulance to get there as it does if it was open and accessible. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So because they have to cover a wider area. When one firehouse is closed, that means that firehouse now, that area now has to be picked up by the neighboring firehouse. So that neighboring firehouse has to cover that area plus the area in that fire and the area. Plus the area that's closed, the area that firehouse is closed in. So
okay, yeah. So that's East Baltimore. It's not far from where I live.
Yeah, I live in East Baltimore too. So
okay, right. So we see it all the time.
Yeah,
that's a sidebar conversation we might want to think about having. But so we've got the gala coming up in a minute.
Yes. Yep. Very nice.
We have we're ready for all of that sounds like there. With that, we need to make certain that if you want to, remember, I got the newsletter. So if you have stuff that you want to send in as reminders for the newsletter, I'd be more than happy to do that for you if you'd like.
That would be amazing. Yeah, because we have so much coming up just this year. Yeah, and it's already October, and our event calendar is still pretty full. So we'll definitely send you some of our upcoming events, because our events are centered around helping out the community and providing services for the community. So these are definitely things that everyone should know about.
Right. Okay. Well, just know that we're here and we're available however we can be supportive. And I'm just really proud of you ladies and the rest of the team and what you all are doing. And thank you so much for making time. I know you have 1,000 other things to do, but I believe that the work that you do is worthy of so much more.
Thank you so much, Marsha.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. So I'll be seeing you down at the waterfront.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. November 8th and the
November
9th
8th.
for the gala.
All right. And wait, is the gala going to be down at the waterfront, or the gala is going to be someplace else?
That's at the Hilton.
At the Hilton. Okay.
At the Hilton. And so we'll send you all the information. So after this, we will get you everything you need. So you just pick your gown out. Go order your gown now so you have it in time.
And tell all your friends that the sponsorships are still available.
Sponsorships are yep.
So
it's not too late. And you can even
send me a notice about sponsorship that can go in the newsletter. So, so whatever, if you could just make up something and we can include it. I have it already in the newsletter that I just sent out. I think, did you all get a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay. So we just want to update stuff and keep it moving.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Outstanding. Shea Rice, Jennifer Wicks, thank you so much for the Baltimore Urban League. We are so proud of you and all the hard work that you're doing.
Thank you.
I'm glad we connected and know that we're here for you to be as supportive as possible.
Exactly. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
And we'll see you all next week, next Wednesday on WKIM. We keep it moving. My life's mission. Take care. Bye-bye.